Hi there everyone, welcome back to Simon Outdoors in the back garden. One thing I've noticed, I thought I'd sold, because I had two of them, is inside my homemade tinder pouch. I've still got my Bushcrafttools fire piston. Now some people struggle with setting these up. Some years ago, I think it was about 3 years ago now, I had some fabulous adventures with Bushcrafttools, going around demoing the fire piston with them. So that's what I'm going to show you today. I've done a little bit of preparation already. I've got some jute twine you can get from hardware stores, but you don't need to buy jute twine. You can use grass, moss, things like that. I've already got some pre-made char cloth. This has been stored in this tub, so I'm hoping this is absolutely bone dry. It's been in the house. I've already cut some lengths of jute twine with my really old battered Mora. It's the third sheath it's using now, and it's already not ready, not really locking in. So not great, but it's, you know, it's a good knife. So I got myself a little piece of wood, and that's just so that when I compress the piston I can do it onto there and it's not going to damage my piston. So right, let's tilt the phone because you don't need to look at me anymore. Try and stop the phone from moving so much, and I don't want it to flop over neither. Okay, so I'll leave the char cloth in the tub until we need it. So I'll get in the fire piston out of the bag, how I've stored it in the bag. Could do a little bit of a clean because there's a little bit of old grease on there. One thing we used to teach when I went around with Bushcrafttools is tap your piston. Right, some tiny bits came out then, because what can happen is over time it can clog up if you're losing bits in there. So with the fire piston, it's all about getting the right compression. So at the minute here you can see I've had this stored together. It's just going together. There's a little bit of compression because it's pulling it back, but that's not what we need. So in the fatter end you've got your Vaseline, and I don't need to take this washer off because I sorted it out before I stored it. So what I'm going to do now is get some fresh Vaseline and just spread it around the edge of that rubber washer. Okay, now you know, if you've bought one of these or if you're thinking about buying one of these, that it's really good. So in this end of your tube you've got lubricant for your fire piston, and in this end of the tube, if there's still some in here, no there isn't, I've used it all up, I could replace it in a minute, put some in there. It comes with char cloth already in there, and if you run out of char cloth, inside this part of the piston is your plan B. You've got quite a large ferro rod in there which is going to make many fires, enabling you to make some more char cloth or charred punk wood. You can also use fungi in this, such as amadou or King Alfred's cake coal fungus. So we'll just tighten this little screw up, just shaking a bit because it's not as good as what it said it was going to be today. So I think that's about right actually. What you're looking for is, I'm putting it together straight away and pushing it, and I can feel compression. Okay, got good compression there. What I want is about that much solid compression, because when you really go at it, that will compress down. and it's going to generate that much heat in here, the char cloth will ignite. So right, now the piston's set up, what I'm going to do, try and get rid of that Vaseline off my hands. It's going into my hands because of how dry they are with all this constant washing from the coronavirus. So okay, so I've got an extra piece which I'm going to put into my tinder bundle, so that when I get that little ember going in the fire piston and I tease it out, I can place it in there, get that going, and we're going to have fire which will dump into here. Yeah, there's a bit of a breeze as well today. So right, I've got a pinch of char cloth, quite a large bit really. When you see, when I compare it to the end, it's quite large. So there's all different techniques with this. So I'm going to place it into the fire piston, and using both fingers I'm going to pack it in there. So when you pull the piston out, you don't want it to fly out. But the other top tip is, Simon's top tip, once you really compact it in there, you want the top bit fluffy, right? But you don't want too much. And I hope I haven't compacted this too much and it's just turned into like a dust. So I'm hoping that's going to be okay now. Okay, so let's move that char cloth out of the way. Right, what I'm going to do is press down really hard, really fast, and quickly pull it back up. Because what happens is, when it goes down really hard, it generates that much heat and ignites. But if you leave it too slow, it burns that oxygen in there and it puts it out. So by pulling it quickly out, it gets air again and keeps going. Right, I could tell when that went down, it didn't have the right amount of compression. And there we are, we've got it. So transfer that to our tinder bundle. Which you've seen we've done now, so we can relax. That's done its job. It's in there glowing now, look. So we can wrap that up. And we've got fire. See, it just took a slight adjustment with the compression and we got that with the Bushcrafttools fire piston. And it's still glowing in there, look. I'll try and get that for you. I hope you just saw that, because I couldn't. I was trying to blow in this, I can't get the camera angle. So that's the Bushcrafttools fire piston. Thank you very much for watching. Take care everyone. Stay safe, stay indoors, support your local shops, support your local businesses. Bye bye.